Oh, Donovan signed this already. Okay, very good. So I need.
I'm not that. If I get to record my feature, that's fine. But what I really care about is recording Ripple.
Who else do I need? What else do I need?
Oh, and it's never right.
So I think next week we're not going to book a feature.
No.
No.
Okay.
We're just going to have people play.
Okay, I have someone there for the feature. Who is it?
Nobody.
October 1st?
Nobody. No, I'd rather keep it open.
I like that idea too. I just want to make sure I'm not blowing it again.
No, you're not. You
It's your
print
last
this.
chance to blow it, Steve, so.
Thanks. Yeah, I don't see it here either, so.
So is there anything after October 1st you've got booked?
No,
Good. Good.
It's really wide.
no, September 24th is the last entry on my calendar.
Okay. So yeah, it will just be random people. I'm sure Rebecca and Gary are going to be here and want a spot. Remember that big fiasco on your tent? And
Yeah, and we lost Dodo Cat by me forgetting that guy booked him and his dad. I was so upset. I talked to him about it. I apologized profusely. It was my fault, but that was it.
so yeah, if he doesn't understand, then sorry.
Well, it's hard for people to appreciate that I come here after 10 hours of software engineering, and like today's case, get yelled at. So the fact that I can sit here and not shiver is already progress. Hello, Em. This is Scott King, my co-host. This is Em.
Hi. I think I've met you. Yes. What's that?
In April?
Yeah, he was here before. Yeah, he's a fellow seeker.
I figured. You can tell, man. You're blowing me. I'll ponder on that one.
Step outside of yourself and meet yourself. Can you do it?
Occasionally. It's called coming to himself. Similar to what the prodigal son did when he found himself tending the small engine.
Okay, well, I thought we were going to get this show on. You got that?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Let's have a look and see if it's right.
You're looking good, dude.
Okay.
Looking like a damn underwear model. So.
With his pants up. Right?
Okay, so how do
Is it
I?
running? There's a little thing on the top.
Yeah, it's running.
Zoom.
It's running it because I see the numbers
As long as the
going.
numbers are turning.
Yeah.
And, yeah, all right. So, let me start it.
You're gonna love it. Dude.
I'm thinking. So, hello, welcome to the Open Microphone. I'm Steve Cavin, your host. Today is September 24th, my next to last performance at the Open Mic. We'll be moving on, retiring, letting Scott and Marshall Mason carry on the good work. It's an open microphone. That means that if you'd like to perform, all you have to do is get your name in here on the book, and we will call you and get you up here to play. Performances at the open mic are 10 minutes. That's enough time for 2 songs, or 3 or 4 poems, or a good comedy routine, or a bad comedy routine, striptease, or anything that you can think of that you think would be fun. for the rest of us. And within those boundaries, I'd like to encourage you to perform, especially if you've never, ever performed in front of people before, because it'll make you really crazy and you'll love it. We'll love it too. I'm going to start off the evening with a surprise tune called Ripple by the Grateful Dead. This is the same surprise tune I've been singing every Monday now for about 15 years, so I've been getting better at it. And it's not my song, it's written by the Grateful Dead, but if you'd like to perform, if you know the words and would like to sing along this evening, please do. And if you don't know the words but would like to sing along, go right ahead.
I want to put you on a feature.
If my words did glow with the gold sunshine, and my tunes were played on harp unstrung, would you hear my voice come through the music? Would you hold it in as it will you run? It's a hand-me-down. The thoughts are broken, perhaps they've done some, I don't know, don't really care. Let there be songs to fill the air, rippling, still water. No pebble toss, no wind to blow. Reach out your hand. If your cup be empty, if your cup is full, may it be again. Let it be known there is a fountain that was not made by the handsome man. There is a road, no simple highway, between the dawn and the dark of night. And if you go, no one may follow. That path is for your steps alone, rippling, there's no pebble lost, no wind to blow. You who choose to leave us follow. If you fall alone. And if you stand, then who's to guide you? If I knew the way, I would take you home. La la la, la 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 la, la la la, la la la, la la la. Thank you very much. Well, now, hard as it is to believe I was once 18, and when I was 18 I hitchhiked around the world. It took me 4 years. It was in the late 70s. I left home with $57 and a sweater, and I returned 4 years later with $11 and a Chinese fiancée. And it's all worked out. I'm still married to the same woman after 34 years, and I decided I'd like people to know about it, so I wrote a book called To Find Out. I hope you'll buy a copy, either here or on Amazon or at the corner bookstore there. And tonight I'm going to read you a very short chapter out of that story about hitchhiking around the world. This is a story about me going hiking in Waipio Valley in the Big Island. When Bill arrived in Hilo, we moved from the Mauna Kea Hotel to a large old house full of hippies. Our new friends, Rainbow and his wife Teresa, suggested that we join them for a few days hiking around Waipio Valley. an isolated paradise about an hour north of town. They left a couple of days ahead of us, and Bill and I decided to hitchhike the following Friday. Bill had never hitchhiked before, so it was my turn to teach him about my preferred mode of travel. We stood by the bridge at the edge of town, and pretty soon a white pickup truck pulled to a stop. We were offered a ride in exchange for helping to deliver and install a refrigerator. We hopped in the back with the fridge, and off we went, no problem. After the delivery, he dropped us at the overlook for Whitefield Valley. Four-wheel drive dirt road led down the cliff toward the beach. Bill and I shouldered our packs and strolled casually toward the bottom. A two-track dirt jeep trail pushed back and forth a couple times and ended on the beach at the mouth of the river. The river was about 20 feet across, maybe 6 or 8 feet deep, and divided the valley into riverbank tropical forest and bamboo huts with corrugated steel roofs and spacious verandas perched on poles along the edge of the steep mountainside. Bill and I set down our packs and stretched out on the beach, admiring the waves washing the spotless bleached sand. There were coconut trees, bananas, avocados, guava, grapefruit, bamboo, and piles of flowers everywhere. After a brief swim and a bit of sunning on the beach, we took to the trail that led up the valley, passing huts of various degrees of cleanliness. After a few friendly neighbors and some timely directions, we found ourselves standing on Rainbow's porch. We knocked on the screen door, and Rainbow himself appeared, gave us both hugs, and invited us into his home. Teresa brought us some cool drinks and jelly jars, and we parked ourselves in some sturdy rattan chairs and passed the afternoon amid warm smiles and casual conversation. The next morning, Bill, Rainbow, Teresa, and I set out with their black Labrador, Gunther, for the beach. The weather was warm and tropical, so we peeled all our clothes off as we walked. Gunther and I took turns chasing each other up and down the beach. When I caught him, I wrapped my arms around him and wrestled him to the ground, dog to dog. After playing on the beach, we started up the trail toward the bamboo jungle above the southern cliffs. Teresa was naked and directly ahead of me on the steep trail. And as we wound our way up the switchbacks, I was confronted by a perfectly firm moon with a hint of dark woolly mystery below. That, and the scent of her body as we walked, subjected me to an ambrosia of wild thoughts. But she was my friend's girlfriend. So I merely enjoyed the scenery and thanked my lucky stars. Traveler's note number 39, nudity. Nudity is not, or need not be, a problem. Naked people come in two different configurations, but after you've seen a few, you've seen them all. After that, you can relax and enjoy the freedom of movement and the soft caress of fresh air on your body. We reached the top and paused to admire the splendid view of the beach below before plunging into the deep bamboo forest. The bamboo grew thick and tall, some 30 feet high and as much as 6 or 8 inches thick. They swayed in the breeze, squeaking and clacking as they rubbed or bumped against each other. I tried to climb one but found no way to gain a foothold on the smooth-skinned bamboo, even though I attempted to shinny, as I did as a child back in Michigan when climbing young saplings. Rainbow cut some bamboo with a razor-sharp machete to use in his garden back at the house. We spent the afternoon wandering in the bamboo. It was cool and shady and magical. As the sun started back down, we started home, reaching the house by late afternoon. We stretched out on the porch and Teresa made us delicious bowls of fresh fruit. Another fine day in paradise. Bill and I hiked out the next morning. We caught a ride back to Hilo and rented a car. The agent carefully told us we could go anywhere on the island as long as we stayed on the paved roads. Under no circumstances were we to undertake the road up to the observatory at the peak of Mauna Kea. Bidding the agent farewell, we turned onto the saddle road and ran across the island from Hilo to Kailua Kona. We stopped off at the Hawaiian Volcanoes Visitor Center to check out the lava and steam vents of Mauna Loa. I found a yellow sulfur crystal the size of a softball by one of the vents. Fascinating. As we approached the turnoff of the observatory, Bill looked me in the face. The agent said, "Stay on the pavement, Steve," said Bill. I just stared back at him. We turned up the mountain and were soon climbing the dirt road up to the observatory. There were small wooden signs every now and then along the road. I called out the elevation, 4,000, 5,000, 8,000 feet. As we went up, the Big Island, Traveler's note number 40, elevation. The Big Island ranges in elevation from sea level all the way up to 13,500 feet. As you increase elevation, the air becomes cooler and drier. At about 8,000 feet, most people feel slightly lightheaded. Some will have headaches, some nosebleeds. At 13,000 feet, your body is struggling with 40% less oxygen and a lot less pressure. Nausea, numbness in the face and extremities, and sudden fatigue are all symptoms of altitude sickness and should be taken seriously. The road ended at a cluster of white, steel-domed buildings. We found a level patch of dirt and set up camp for the evening. After supper, we walked over to the largest observatory and, finding the back door open, went inside. The astronomer, though surprised to see us, was quite friendly and invited us to take a peek through the telescope. We sat and talked for a while and said goodnight and returned to our tent, where I spent the rest of the night throwing up. 0 to 13,000 feet in a single day. But the following morning, as the sun began to rise over the distant horizon, the sky at that altitude exploded with light and color. I've never seen a more beautiful sunrise. The next day we descended, circled the island, stopping at South Point to stand on the southernmost point in the United States and stare from the lava cliffs out over the blue Pacific. We returned the rental car. We faced a rather stern reproach. "I told you to stay on the paved road," said the agent, exasperated. "What makes you think you went off the road?" we asked innocently. "My brother-in-law works at the observatory," he said with irritation. "He called me and said he'd spotted one of our cars up there yesterday." We were assessed a $100 penalty for going off the road, apologized profusely, and jumped on the ferry for Maui. Thank you. Who's up next?
Steve, who's the feature tonight?
I am.
Oh, surprise, surprise. Very good.
Chris,
Oh yeah, he's here. Chris, is it Edgar or Egerton?
Edgerton.
Edgerton.
Yes.
Edgerton. Chris Edgerton.
cool.
Just turn all the mics off.
Take care of you. No problem. Maybe singing as well.
Oh, no.
Yeah. You know Joey Chang? Ever heard of Cello Joe?
Sure, of course I heard a cello joke.
Joey Chang.
That's right. Normally we do that. You should have come and talked to me about it. We can still fix it. We can still fix it.
See, my problem is until 7. That's why.
Hey, I know that guy. Dead
About
mouse.
7:30.
Yeah, that's crazy.
What's your name?
It's Bruce.
Go ahead and get comfortable like that.
Am I still on for my 7:30 or 7:20 was
I
it?
believe you are. But I don't think 7:30. You're John. You're 7:20.
Oh, yeah.
That's this one.
Okay, great.
All right, go for it.
Don't worry. So we know Cello Joe, huh?
Yeah, Miss McNulty is a band.
What's that? Good. Fill in the room, dude.
So I'd just like to say beforehand, I'm here tonight on sort of a fundraising mission for Mountain View High School. We're trying to raise funds because we're doing a lot this year, like going to Hawaii and playing at a ton of awesome.
Let's give the man a microphone.
I tried to, he wouldn't take one.
If
Yeah,
you're
that
interested
microphone
in
works.
donating to the Mountain View High School Music Department, any amount is appreciated. Talk to my friend Lou over there.
Hi, Lou.